Micky, we'll start off with team news. What's the latest, especially on Tom Davies as well?
Tom, just as before, got another good week under his belt. Still needs to build on his fitness, but definitely moving forward.
Is it difficult in a way to kind of integrate him back in, given the games coming so thick and fast, and they all hold quite a lot of importance as well?
It's not about the games and the importance and things. It's just try to get Tom fit. To get fit, you've got to find the intensity and whatever it is that you're doing in order to push the limits that you've already got. It's as simple as that, and that's what we're trying to do in training, is push him all the time, but not too much, because you don't want him getting injured again. But he's had a really tough day yesterday and another one today. We'll just keep pushing him on, and then hopefully get to a stage where he's ready. But it's coming. He's getting there, and of course he's still getting over a long-term injury, so that seems to be okay now. So just keep building.
And how's the rest of the group looking?
All good, all fine, no problems. Touch wood from the other night. No, we're okay.
Looking back at the last week, the draw against Harrogate and draw against Rochdale, how do you sit back and reflect on those results over the last week or so?
We've got a good team. We've got a good team, young team. At the start of the season, as we've said to everybody, is a developing team, and they're improving all the time. So just keep pushing them on, just keep going, learn from the game before, and speak to them about things that we believe we need to get better at. A couple of good meetings today, and just keep pushing them forward. But I think the main thing is be pleased that we think that we've got a good team. So we've built a good side here that's, I think, represents Tranmere properly, plays at football in the way that we want them to play. We understand that we've got to get better at a lot of stuff, but I would always say that certainly, I certainly enjoy watching them playing, and I'm enjoying working with them and keep pushing them forward.
From a fan's perspective, say, for example, when they look at the league table and they see Harrogate and Rochdale both in the bottom four, can you understand frustration when it comes to that, even though there's a long, hard season and every game in this league is very difficult?
I can't get involved in that, but people were told at the start of the season that what the project was, and everybody was all jumping up and down and saying that they quite liked that. So what do we do now? We come away from that? Do we think that we can do development in a month or a week or 2 months, or the developing team? We are challenged financially at this club. We're competing with the teams at the top end, so we've got to find players that we can develop and make better. That's never changed. So the players that we pick up, it takes time to get them up to speed, get them to play the way that we want them to play, get them to play league football. How quickly they do that is up to how quickly they develop, and they are developing well. And the project that the club set out to do at the start of the season is moving in the right direction. I can't affect if people on the outside of the project suddenly believe that we're on a different one, that we were going out and buying the best players in the league, and we're guaranteed to win championships. That was never ever we were never ever in a position to do that. We were told every day as we went along what was going to happen. So if you go back over all my interviews, we did this from day one. So nothing's changed for me. That's the reason why I say I can't get involved in that. I am on a process of trying to make a team better. With the qualities that they have, try to make them better and try and develop others to keep them moving forward. And that's the project that we're on. I haven't come off it, the owner hasn't come off it. If anybody else has come off it, then they want to maybe retrace their thoughts, get back to some of them when we told them that this was the way that we believed that Tranmere was going to be competitive, because we couldn't do it another way, which is the financial way.
When you say about enjoying the team, and there was a lot to enjoy in the Rochdale game, when you look at stats, 16 shots, 6 on target, of course, and you said about they were hanging on at the very end. from a player's perspective, and I suppose from the staff, did it feel like just one of those nights? Is it something that you can put down to or classify as one of them?
Well, there's things that you've got to do. You've got to take chances and you've got to take them at the right times. And football is what it is, but you've got to look at, when you look at your team, you look and you think, are they doing the things that we think that would bring us success? Are they looking to try and do that? And if they're looking to try and do that and it's breaking them because of technique or decision making, then you try and fix that. But I see them trying to make the right decisions at the right times. And I see them showing great qualities in certain moments. And then, of course, a phase of play can happen and it can end with somebody having to try and put it in the net, and we might not have been able to do that at the right time. But that's just football. But the important thing is that we understand the way that we want to play. We understand what good looks like playing that way. And we have to keep standards high and keep pushing that forward and keep the players understanding the way that we believe that we have to play in order to try and play well and win games of football.
I wanted to ask you about substitutions as well, because I know you spoke about it after the game against Rochdale. I think it's only one substitution in the last 2 games combined. There's five substitutions allowable nowadays. How are you finding that situation? Is it something that you wanted bringing in? Is it a bit more difficult to manage than maybe on the outside it looks? What are your thoughts with regards to that? And also, given how on top you say you were against Rochdale, is it difficult to kind of bring players in when the momentum is with your side?
I understand why you're asking that, because, of course, I'm aware of certain parts of things that are brought to my attention, and you're the second interviewer to ask the question. So, of course, you guys are paying attention to what you're hearing and what I don't know, because I get what goes on, and I can kind of gauge what's been said by the questions that you ask sometimes. That's your job. That's what you do. You only make substitutions when you think maybe somebody's injured, or maybe somebody's run out of steam, or maybe you think that the current way that they're playing can be changed from what you have on the bench to give you a good chance of winning games. I'm trying to simplify it. When I stand there as a manager who's been a manager for 700 games nearly, and a player for nearly 600, I kind of get the feeling for a game. Sometimes people challenge maybe my knowledge of football, or are they going about tactics and all the rest of it? That's fine, that's everybody's opinion. But I think I'm pretty well placed to understand that what a game of football needs from what I'm getting on the pitch. I think I'm very clear about what I need because of my experience of being standing there for so long and playing the game, and the amount of football that I watch, and what I have sitting behind me on the bench that I think might affect the game in a different way. So I can make it more simple that if I'm looking at a game of football and they don't look like they're running out of steam, and they're still getting crosses in the box and they're still making opportunities, and it's just that wee finish that they need, why does it make any sense because you've got 5 substitutions? Why does anybody think that you have to make them? Is there a rule that says that 5 subs have to be made? So I know that you're asking that question, and the other lad asked the question after the game, because obviously there is an amount of people asking, why don't you make subs, or don't you know how to make subs, or tactically can we make subs, or whatever. Well, I think I've answered that pretty clearly. The guy who's done nearly 700 games and in 600 games as a manager and watches more games than probably anybody that I know, didn't believe that I had to disturb something that was giving me the what I needed to try and win the game. And also what I had sitting behind me, I didn't think could affect it with the qualities that they had sitting behind me, because they all have different qualities. That doesn't mean to say that I don't think that the guys sitting behind me are any good. I just don't think that the type of game that I'm watching on Tuesday night needed the qualities that any of them had that was going to make any difference. So we kept going with what we had, and unfortunately we weren't able to find that goal, but they kept asking questions of Rochdale, and as far as Rochdale hanging on was concerned, yeah, they were. The only thing that beat us on Tuesday night was time. We ran out of time, and we couldn't get that goal, which was disappointing for everybody. But we're certainly, if anybody wants to see stats, because they believe in that, because maybe that's proof, or they can use your gut instinct, which sometimes you go with, or you use your eyes because that's what you see. That's what Tuesday night said to me. So, like I always say, I'll continue to go with my inexperience and keep to the wee principles that I need to have as a manager. Because when all around you is all gone bananas and all gone mental, I'll stick to my little processes, which haven't done badly for me over the years.
No, they haven't at all, Micky. Looking forward now onto Carlisle. They've only lost one game all season before the last week, albeit one of the games was Corinthians, of course. What are their strengths? What do you like about Carlisle?
Well, obviously they know how to not lose games. They stay in games and they stick together, and nothing really disappoints them. They keep going and they keep sticking to what they believe gives them a chance of winning games. All games in this league are tough. It doesn't matter where you're in the league. Everybody to play against is a real good challenge. There's no outliers as such, where I would say that there has these individuals that are really going to hurt you. It's about real team stuff. So Carlisle as a team is my next obstacle, and it's a tough obstacle for us to go and face. But we're looking forward to the challenge of it. We're looking forward to trying to play the way that we want to play, to find their weaknesses, as we always try and do, getting our players in the right positions to go and either get 1v1 to overload people, or get certain amount of players in an area to go and overload people. So we'll work hard to try and achieve that. And then at the other end, keep it dead simple, try and keep it out at the other end and try and score more than them at the other end. So that's how we'll attack the game.
I just wanted to ask quickly about Morgan Feeney. He was here just before the pandemic hit. Didn't have the best time here, of course, only one appearance, but then injury did hit as well. What have you made of his progression, of course, now Carlisle captain?
First of all, he got injured in his first game. Secondly, I'm not going to talk about anybody else's players. It's not my. I mean this with the greatest respect. I'm not really that fussed. He's a nice lad, but I'm working with Tranmere, trying to make Tranmere better. So absolutely, that's where my mentality always is. I always like seeing the players that have been here before doing well, but I fully support my players to try and do better. So that's really where I'm at with that. And that's no disrespect. You've asked the question, but that's where I am. That's where I'm at. I'm just going to get on with my players.
And of course, I know you've got Stockport in the week as well, but it's first of 2 games against Carlisle. So is there a bit of internal scouting within the game itself going into the FA Cup game next week, or one game at a time, etc.? But is there a little bit of internal scouting perhaps going on in the game on Saturday?
What do you mean by internal
Just
scouting?
In terms of like what you're preparing for now, but then preparing for the game next week, albeit with Stockport in the middle.
Well, obviously we'll know a wee bit more about them because we've played against them, because they're going to be near enough the next game, so we'll know fresher, we'll know more about them. So yeah, in terms of, as you put it, scouting, we'll know a wee bit more about them. But there's never been 2 games that's ever been the same, and never will be. So we'll attack it thinking about how we think we can win that one, and then quickly we'll forget about that, put that away and go and get on with Stockport. All our focus is on Saturday's game, all of it. We've done bits of work on what we would need to do because for the next game, but that really won't come to our attention until 4:45 Saturday night, when we'll sort of reflect on the game that we've just had and kind of move forward to thinking about Stockport, and then again the process will start again after we've played Stockport on Tuesday night. So we'll see what we could learn from that, and then move on to the Carlisle game, and then see what we learned from the game before, and was there something else that we could maybe have done, and we'll try and bring that to the game on the following Saturday.